you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Smith Radio, along with your hosts, Brian Smith and
Carrie Smith.
Giving you all the late-breaking news of the past week, wrapping it all up, telling you what you didn't hear over the weekend, because you know the media, the slimy, dirty media, loves
the sleazes.
The sleazes of the media. They love to hide that stuff in the weekend when everybody's, kicking back and not worried about anything. Today is June 5th, 2016. You can listen to us, all our past shows. You can listen to them on iHeart.smithradio.com. Follow us on Facebook.com/Smith Radio. That's SMYTH. And at Smith Radio on Twitter. We're on both of those sites, the Facebook and Twitter, a lot. You can also go to our YouTube channel and get the 15-minute segments of the show, so you don't have to listen to the full 3 hours if you don't have the time. You can go back and just listen to 15-minute segments, and that's Smith Radio on YouTube as well. And today is a locked and loaded show.
Yep. Call-in number is 513-888-1538. That's 513-888-1538. You're going to have to be patient, though, because we are so jammed. We'll have to be brief if we talk to anybody today.
Right. If you call in today, that's fine. That's great. We'll take your call. But honestly, you got to get to the point right away, and don't be insulted if we hang up and move on, because we just have to.
Right. So should we do a rundown of what we are talking about today?
Yes.
Okay. So we will be talking. Okay. So last week, the gorilla incident in Cincinnati, Harambe, happened while the show was going on. So
during our broadcast.
Right. So basically we just missed breaking that. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. Muhammad Ali died, and we'll talk a little bit about what a career and life he had. Trump had a press conference about his veterans fundraiser. We will definitely talk about that.
That was big news this week.
There's big news with Hillary Clinton and the trouble she might end up having to be responsible for, finally.
Man. Yes. If there's any justice in this world, she will pay.
And she is also in the news for a foreign policy speech, or was it foreign policy? Trump had a rally. He had several rallies this week, but one in San Jose was interesting, and also Redding, California was also interesting, made in the news. Both of them did. We'll definitely talk about that. The San Jose one is just nuts. Speaker Paul Ryan endorsed somebody this week.
Yes, he did.
We will have to tell you about that. And then he actually backtracked and rethought and doubled back, so we'll talk about that. Trump also, we talked about his, he said some controversial statements, two different controversial statements that we'll have to talk about. One that was at his Redding, California, and the other one was about his Trump University debacle, where they're a class action lawsuit against him. We'll talk about that. Obama, for the first time in the entire election cycle.
Well, officially. Because he's been jabbing a little bit left and right.
He officially goes headfirst, full-blown in Indiana, and decides he is getting in this race and going to opine on the candidates. And Michelle Obama, for, I don't know, second, third, fourth, 100th time, has bashed America. And we will let you know about that with some nice sound bites.
It's got nothing to do with race, does it?
Yes.
Doesn't it always have to do with race when it comes to her?
There was a shooting in UCLA this week.
On the campus, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. And I'll tell you what, we're so jammed this week that we're going to try our hardest to get to the economic news.
Which is very important to clarify what all these numbers mean about unemployment rate dropping. How is that even possible?
Bernie Sanders is still in the race, despite what the media would want you to. And guess what? Tuesday, he is going to be battling Clinton for the biggest state in the union when it comes to delegates. And news came out of what Prince died of. So we'll talk about that. And Glenn Beck been suspended from Sirius. And even though he's been suspended from Sirius, he still has a show, and he's just been absent. So he is on suicide watch for the week, and we'll opine on that if we have time. So again, you're listening to Smith Radio at smithradio.com. If you want to call in, it's 513-888-1538. Follow us on Twitter at Smith Radio. And by the way, it's Smith with a Y, so it's SMYTHRADIO. And, of course, we are on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio is iHeartRadio.smithradio.com. And you can also search us. Don't forget, when you search on iHeartRadio, it's SMYTH. So we're going to go in head first. What's the big news of the day?
San Jose. Have you been to have you been to San Jose?
I have not, even though I've been to several cities in California. I know you lived in California. Have you been to San Jose?
Yeah, I've been through San Jose.
Okay. I had a buddy in the Marine Corps that was from San Jose.
I'm really upset with the mayor of San Jose. I'm really angry at him for apparently the riots were going on in San Jose, and if you live on a rock, everybody knows about these riots during the Trump rally. In the Trump rally, it was absolutely peaceful, but these riots were started outside the Trump rally, predominantly male, some female, young, look like in their 20s, maybe early 30s, waving Mexican flags, burning American flags, and attacking innocent Trump supporters with Trump T-shirts on.
So what they did is Trump had his rally, and they obviously, there's a lot of, he has several rallies a week, every single week, and there's always going to be some people there protesting. And obviously, some places there's going to be bigger protests than others. I would assume that because it's California, which is an extremely liberal state that has very organized Democrat operatives there,
right,
and they can organize this, and they have the big numbers there.
Even the rallies that we went to here in the more affluent northern Cincinnati area.
You went to it. I was at the one in Columbus. I was out of town for the Westchester one.
And even in Westchester, I mean, it's big money to live up there, man. It's just what it is.
Yeah, you got to have money to live in Westchester.
There was a section of protesters that were roped off, and ironically, there was a valley, like a gully, that you had to cross to get to the Trump rally, and as that became a natural deterrent.
Oh, so it's a fortunate natural barrier,
right? I mean, it was roped off, but it kept them over on that side. And then the one in Columbus,
Did you see anybody? Because you were kind of out towards the outskirts of the parking lot for a while. Was there anything?
No, I didn't see anybody, and I didn't see any haters either.
But that was really early. That was early. That was before the primary. And I think, there were so many people. At that point in time, Kasich ended up winning Ohio, by the way.
Right.
And I believe that the protests weren't really organized back then. Now they're getting serious. So this is what happened in San Jose. He goes in and does just like he always does, gets in there and does a rally. A lot of people showed up like they always do. It's always jam-packed, huge crowds for Trump rallies. And the protesters, which were larger than usual because it's California, there's a large Hispanic, Mexican, and a lot of illegals even.
And let me tell you, they are absolutely emboldened by the laws that are passed in California where illegals can get, driver's license, they can do whatever. And don't think for one second, if you've ever known anybody to live in L.A., they know you go to this town called HP, Huntington Park. You go up to HP, and for $110, you can get a driver's license and a Social Security card.
Which, by the way, they're going to definitely use as voter fraud.
Right.
Voter fraud.
Oh, it's absolute voter fraud. So on holidays like the 4th of July in L.A., you'll have Mexicans putting giant Mexican flags on the back of their trucks and driving around L.A.
And, you know,
for the 4th of July.
Waving around a Mexican flag is obviously protected by the First Amendment, and I'm okay with that. But when you're at a political rally or something to that effect that involves America, it's an American thing, you know, and then you're waving a foreign flag as a form of protest, you know it's not looking good for you.
Right, and America has afforded you all these freedoms. And yet you're angry at America for some reason.
Right.
And don't think the culture that I knew of in L.A., the Hispanic culture, huge on respect. Respect. You respect me. Respect. I'm like, okay, bro, we got respect. But where's it? It's reciprocal. Where's the respect for me?
Right.
And there is none.
It doesn't
from what
seem
I
like
saw.
it.
No.
So now this whole thing with San Jose, we're going to do 2 segments on that.
Okay.
So the San Jose thing, I was able to follow real time, live, just by messing around on Twitter. And what happened is a guy that goes by, I believe his Twitter handle is @TimCast.
Oh, yeah.
He captured a guy in a yellow polo shirt. Looked like he looked like an athlete. You know,
Okay.
he was like he looked like he was in his mid-20s, looked like he goes to the gym all the time, but he was kind of, I believe, by himself, and he had just exited the Trump rally, and he was walking away like he was going to go to his car, maybe, wherever he was going.
Like, I wouldn't approach this dude and threaten him personally.
No.
I mean, he looked like he could carry himself.
Very young, very in shape, looked like, if he wanted to, he could probably do some damage. You don't want to get in a fight with this guy. He looked tall, too.
Yeah, he did.
So this Timcast guy captured video of this guy getting assaulted from behind by a weapon of some sort. It looked like a shopping bag. Clearly something in the shopping bag. Nobody knows what it is, and nobody probably ever will.
Like a sack full of nickels.
Or something sharp?
Could be.
So when this guy got bashed, he almost, besides the fact that he stopped and turned around to look to see who that was that did it, he didn't have much of a reaction. He just stood there after he did his 180 and looked. The guy that hit him turned and scurried away like a little coward.
Very much so.
And,
very cowardly.
And unfortunately, I got to give Timcast a lot of credit for being there and also doing a very good job of capturing the subsequent rioting afterwards. You didn't get a good shot at all of the assailant, and all he did was keep the frame on the victim.
He could have slightly turned his camera and caught
I would have definitely
really
done
good
that.
picture of this guy.
Right, so he didn't do that, but he ended up interviewing the guy that got hit. By the time he started asking questions, it was blood flowing out, and you have his interview. You want to click on that?
Yeah, here it is. 1A.
Yeah, you should be good.
You didn't say anything to anybody? You were just walking out, or what?
I was walking out with a Trump sign. He grabbed my Trump sign and started following me, saying I was like a racist.
So you literally didn't say anything to provoke them?
I was just like, yeah, Trump.
So you literally didn't say anything to provoke him.
So those 2 people interviewing him were actual journalists.
Supposed to be.
At least they were acting like it. And notice how the most important thing that they were concerned about was whether or not he asked for it.
Right. Because, people ask for violence all the time.
I just want to throw this out there right now. We're not going to have time to discuss things too much. I'm going to get right to the point. What liberals seem to be stuck on, and they've got to stop this for the good of America and the future of Americans, freedom, all this stuff, rights. They believe that physical assault is sometimes justified